Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
Welcome to another edition of the Lyle Style Show. Man, I'm really happy about this show because today I have a long-distance phone interview with a wonderful person. Been trying to get her on the show for a while. Her name is Sheree Franklin. I'm right here. See the book right here. And she's an award-winning author, motivational speaker, and she agreed to talk to me, Lyle Style, about her book and about what's going on in her life and about how she started motivation speaking. And it's a little bit quick, brief talk about her. She says she helps individuals, organizations to confront their fears and change limiting beliefs to achieve their dreams. What a wonderful thing to be doing. So you know what, Sheree Franklin, she's come on the show right now. So I'm about to give her a call and we could talk. I could talk to her. The viewers could talk to her too. Let's give her a call.
Thank you for calling the Metropolitan Club. This is Bianca. How may I help you?
Yes. Could you connect me to the extension 341?
Yes, please hold.
Thank you.
Sheree.
Hello. Welcome to the Lyle Style Show.
Hi, Lyle. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. You know what? I'm glad I got you on the show. It's been hard to get you on there. I know you're busy. And I got your book. Your book is a wonderful book. It's okay. Now, for the viewers that don't know about you now, you are a motivational speaker and you're author. So tell us a little bit about your background.
What I am is I'm an intuitive coach and counselor. And what that means is that I help people to confront their fears and change limiting beliefs so they will achieve their dreams. And I do that by teaching them to trust their gut, to become more aware of how their intuition helps them to plot the course for their life.
Oh, wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to even doing. And so, wait, first of all, how did you get involved in doing this type of work?
Well, actually, I'm a trained intuitive. There's a woman by the name of Consuela Newton, a woman who lives in Baltimore, Maryland, who I got training through, and her program is called Integrated Awareness.
Okay.
And I did the training some years ago and never thought that I would really be using it for a full-time basis. It was always was my passion, just something I had an interest in. And, you know, like anything else, you never know what turns fate will take. And I was in a business for about 17 years. I did promotional products. And I started paying attention in 2005 that the internet was changing things. And I knew that the industry, as I, had worked it for many years, would not be the same. So it was a good time to pay attention to my own intuition and know that it was time to make a change. So I sold the business, and I took a couple years to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And in the meantime, as things play out, in your destiny, I got introduced to a woman by the name of Melody Span Cooper. She's the president of WVON Talk Radio in Chicago. And she brought me on air and asked me to talk about opportunities for women in business. Someone called in that day and told me basically, a woman struggling, saying the only way I could start a business is if I got a miracle.
Okay.
And I just explained to her, I understood the process for creating miracles in one's life. The phones lit up. Next thing I knew, we've expanded from a 30-minute show to an hour show. And the next day, Melody Span Cooper called and invited me back on air to do a short program. So I created, like my own little program to talk about intuition and meditation and things like that. and that's where my first clients came from.
Oh, wow, wonderful! That's a wonderful thing that you did. So and so what really got you started in writing this book? Because this is a wonderful book that you got.
Well, the book really, if I was going to tell you, Lyle, a milestone moment, it was that I was selected out of 100,000 email applicants to be a part of Oprah's Ultimate Fan Show, her first show for her last season. And that show ended up helping me achieve one of my lifetime dreams. I had fallen in love with the Aboriginal people through a book called Mutant's Message Down Under by Marlo Morgan many years ago, and they always fascinated me. Same fascination I always had is the same thing for intuition. And so they asked in the application process for the Oprah show, one of her producers asked at the very end, they asked the same question to everyone. They said, "What is your dream?" And I told them my dream had always been to meet the Aboriginal people. And I didn't know we were going to Australia.
Oh, wow.
So when I got to the show and I found out we were going, I knew there was something bigger happening than just, everyday stuff. And I was selected out of, there were 300 people who went to Australia. Out of that, 12 women were chosen to travel to the ancient ground of the Aboriginal people. And Oprah handpicked us for that trip.
Oh, wow. So you was one of them.
Right. So it was a very special trip. It was a site called the Garbungmung Cave. And it's a very special site. It had only been rediscovered about 4 or 5 years ago. And what happened was we got to meet the Aboriginal people. We were on the ancient site. And to fast forward it, at the end of the trip, and this is what really hit me in terms of writing the book, Oprah told us not to let the trip to Australia be the biggest thing you do in your life. She said you had to go back and achieve bigger dreams and goals. And Lyle, I took those words really to heart.
Yeah.
And it had always been in my mind to write a book. I'm an avid reader, and I had tried to write about 2 or 3 other books, but never could get through them. And the women I traveled with to the ancient ground, they came to Chicago to see me, and they were asking me, "So, Sheree, what's happening with the book?" And I said, "Oh, it's not going so good." And they said, "Well, don't you remember what the Aboriginal women told us? They said, before you can write someone else's story, you must first write your own."
Oh, wow.
And so those were the words that I needed to hear to make me know that I needed to write about intuition.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. My goodness. So that's inspired you to actually do this book then.
Right. Those were the words. Those were the words. But Lyle, the longer you live, though, the more you realize how interconnected life really is.
Exactly. Yeah. So now your motivational speaking that you do, you speak to different businesses, don't you? Different groups.
Sure. I speak to business organizations. I speak to clubs. I do corporate work where I help to train people to be more intuitive in their thinking. So I do a variety of different speaking events. I do workshops, seminars. I do a variety of things.
Oh, wow. Okay. And now I want to ask you a question. I just said intuition. Okay. What is that? Do everybody have that, or can you be taught to have that?
Well, we all have intuition. We're always using our gut instincts in anything that we do. I like to tell people, even if you're at the pool table or a corporate boardroom, everyone's using gut instincts in the decisions that they make. And intuition is, I call my book The Hidden Asset. It really should be placed right against analytical thinking or fact-based thinking to help you in deciding when you have a choice to make. If you're writing down, say, okay, this is what the research indicates, this is what my analysis is, then you also need to write down what your gut tells you to help make that decision.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Dang. So okay, now, but can you help people to bring that intuition out of them to really realize this is what they need to be looking at when they get in situations like maybe get in trouble, when they see like red flags, whatever. Can somebody be taught? Because I know everybody has it though, but it can be taught. Can you teach somebody that to be better in using their intuition?
Sure. Well, see, our body really is our laboratory. It really tells you everything you need to know if you pay attention. So the first thing you need to do is to become comfortable with feeling.
Okay.
And see, so many of us don't allow ourselves to feel anymore, and allow the main reasons because we're seduced on technology.
Yeah.
Okay, we turn to Google, our iPhones, iPads, anything other than to turn inward to reflect on what's the best choice or decision to make. And I'm trying to remind people that you have your own inner GPS to turn to.
Okay.
And so you need to tune in and notice, okay, if a little twinge comes up in your stomach, you know, there's always anxiety that we feel.
Yes.
But you need to take a notice if that comes up every time you have a decision, a moral decision to face. Because that tells you that maybe the decision you're making really isn't the right one. Or maybe you need to explore it more in depth. Or maybe you need to choose someone that you trust and respect to run that decision by and check in with them too. Because the information's always there. It's just if we choose to listen.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's interesting. I think everybody, especially my viewers, need to hear this and need to can take something from your book and really apply them to their lives and really be a better individual for that. Because your book is a good read. Now, do you plan to do another book or sequel to this book or something totally different?
Well, Lyle, it's too funny you'd say that because I realized the last couple of days that I've started writing another book. I didn't realize that I was writing it until I think really yesterday.
Really?
It suddenly hit me. You're starting to write another book. So we'll see. I mean, this one's only been out. You know, this is the 4th month it's been out.
Okay.
So I'll give it some time and allow it to gestate in me and see what happens.
Oh, exactly. You know what? And hey, you know what? I like to maybe one day have you come out here to visit Iowa City, and come on the show and people see you in person. But we got your picture up here, and people can see how see you and stuff. And man, I mean, now I want to ask you a question. Okay, now you're doing this, but you're a mother. You got kids and stuff, don't you?
I have one daughter, and she's grown. She's a social worker.
Oh,
She works in St. Louis. She stayed in the family business.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow.
So she's a social worker in St. Louis, and I'm married. My husband is a retired CPA.
Oh, okay, sure.
He had his own accounting firm.
Okay.
So we both have entrepreneurial spirit.
Right. Okay, so he could do taxes and everything.
Oh yeah. He's one of those people. His specialty had to do with audits.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, audit. Okay. Well, I don't want him talking to me, but I only know audit on my. Okay, but no, I'm doing good. But Sheree, yeah, that's good. Now, see you. Okay. Your daughter's married. She got kids too, don't she?
No,
she doesn't.
She's not married.
Oh, she's not married?
No.
I thought she was married.
No, she's not married. She's young people today now, and that's that intuition too.
Yes.
Young people today take longer, to make commitments, and she's just at the point where she needs to be in terms of she's grounded, she knows who she is, and when the time comes, it'll work out.
Oh yeah, I know. Wow. Well, whoever gets her is going to be really blessed and lucky to have her. So.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, because I've seen a picture of your family. You have a beautiful family, and that type of thing. So, now another thing. Now, okay, now you're doing this because you're working real hard. Okay, now what do you do in your spare time? What's some of the things that you enjoy doing and relax?
Well, I'm involved in a couple organizations. I'm on the University of Chicago Women's Board. I'm on the board. I'm in a condo in downtown Chicago, so I'm on the board for the condo.
Okay.
In addition to that, my husband and I travel.
Oh wow, that's good.
I work out.
That's good. Yes, I could tell that.
You already know I'm an avid reader,
right?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah. So that between all those things, I stay pretty busy.
Oh, you do. My goodness, and girl, you definitely don't look your age, and you're a beautiful person inside and out. And man, I'm just amazed at what you're doing and what you accomplish in your life and stuff. Because you know what, people realize that, you know, when they get younger, they feel like that they can tackle the world, they can do stuff. You know, life is not over until it's over, you know?
No, it isn't. And every day we have the opportunity to wake up and decide what we want to create in our lives.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important that you make time for, say, prayer and meditation. It doesn't necessarily, research indicates that you don't have to meditate even for a long time, that meditation has effects in as little as 5 to 7 minutes. But quieting the mind, you know, being focused, allows us to tune into our intuition at a deeper level. And it also does everything, they find meditation does everything from helps to lower the blood pressure, build a stronger immune system, and they've actually realized that people who meditate have more gray matter in their brain, which means that they have greater mental clarity.
Wow.
So it really is a plus to develop your own spiritual practice.
Wow, you know, I think I should meditate 24/7 then, because I need something like that, you know, to really motivate me, you know, because I work 2 jobs and everything like that and stuff, you know, and doing this show. This is like a relaxing for me.
People who work like that, anyone who works as hard as you do, and I know you're a very hardworking person, you do need a few minutes to kind of clear the chaos in the brain.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're probably, even when you're on one job, you're mentally thinking about going to the next job. And
Amen.
that's what most of us do.
Dang, girl, you're reading my mind. Are
That's
here?
what most of us do, but really, we need to stay present within our presence, you know, to stay where you are in that moment, and really to be consciously aware of what's going inside and outside of you, because the information is always there, just if we choose to listen.
That's right. But now, what's going on? Are you doing any more engagements or anything coming up this year? Or?
Sure. Actually, I'm on my way tomorrow to Baltimore. I'll be speaking at the Enoch Pratt Library. It's one of the most prestigious public libraries in the country, and I'll be speaking there on the 29th. And so after that, I'm scheduled to speak June 22nd at the University Club in Chicago.
Okay.
So I have I think there's one other event before the summer's over, but you know, basically I'm doing events as they come along. We're putting the word out as much as we can in terms of the book.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So we're doing that. So the opportunities that are coming up, you know, will continue.
Yeah.
I'm confident and secure about that.
Oh, I know it. Well, it's a wonderful book. And girl, you forgot to sign the book now.
Oh, I did. Wow. You know what? I remember the day I mailed it.
Yes.
I can't even tell you how many books I mailed out that day.
I know you did. Yes. And I was thinking, this little lady forgot to sign it. Man, I was like, hey,
no,
she's gonna be a famous.
I mailed out about 20 that day.
Did you did?
Right.
You're gonna be a famous author one day. I gotta have her signature.
Well, you'll get my signature. Okay.
Yeah, I like that. You know, your next book, I definitely have to get caught. You know, next book, hey, I'm gonna try to get you out here in Iowa City, live on the Lyle Style Show, and talking to my viewers and stuff. You know, we're gonna try to make that happen, or either come out there to you.
Okay. Well, we'll make it happen.
You'll definitely make it happen. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, okay, about your intuition. You know, hidden aspects everyone should learn and use. I was reading through it, and I was looking at the first chapter. If I get the first, okay, here it is. Discover your intuition. Now this is the first chapter that talks about how you discover your intuition.
Right. Because what happens a lot of times is people are aware of their intuition. They just don't. I call it the hidden asset because it really is an asset. The example I use in the book is being at an intersection and waiting for the light to change. And when the light changes, that little small voice inside tells you not to go through the intersection. And you keep your foot on the brake.
Yeah.
And you watch in amazement when another car, another vehicle, motorist runs through their light. And suddenly they're in the center of the intersection, the very space you would have been in.
Oh, man.
Had you not paid attention.
Amen.
So that's how simple intuition is.
Wow.
It's very, very simple, but a lot of times what happens is the information comes in bits and pieces.
Yes.
And because we're not always, aware, because it's like what we just said about you working 2 jobs. it's very hard when people are busy all the time to stay tuned in. And that's where the prayer meditation ends up being a valuable spiritual tool for you to develop your intuition.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's what that was a good way to explain that, because that if he didn't follow intuition, he could have been hit or killed or something like that.
Those things happen all the time. Or people say, you know, they knew someone wasn't right, something wasn't right, you know, or a person, you know, wasn't the person that they thought they were presenting. And I'm a firm believer that you have to pay attention. It's like what happened with me about being selected to be on the Oprah show and traveling to Australia. Suppose I didn't have a dream.
Right.
Suppose I was too embarrassed to admit what my dream was because I thought it would be stupid. And that's one thing where your intuition plays a big role in. You should always have a dream.
Wow.
And we stop dreaming many times because, you know, either we're too busy or we've gotten disappointed, things didn't turn out the way we wanted, or even more importantly, Lyle, and this is what really happens to many of us, we have a lot of dream killers around us.
Oh, amen to that.
We have a lot of people who will tell us exactly why everything we want will not turn out. And when that happens, most of us then connect with our fears, doubts, and insecurities.
Yep.
We won't listen to that little voice that says, go to dental school, do this, do that. And because that person, that dream killer, and your dream killer could be your best friend, could be your mother, your father, your boss, or it could be yourself.
Ooh.
A lot of us are self-sabotagers. We'll tell ourselves all the reasons why we can't achieve whatever it is we really want to do.
And so now, how do you get past that self? Because that's kind of important.
One of the things that I give my clients to do, and I talk about in the book, is I have them, as part of their homework assignment, they have to have 30 minutes a week that they will take for thinking. And thinking is different than worrying time. You know, most of us aren't trained thinkers anymore because, again, we turn to technology for everything. So I tell them, turn off the phone, turn off the iPad, turn off everything, pen and pad in hand, and allow yourself to think, what is it that I really want in my life? What will help me to get there? What am I willing to do to make this dream work? And once you start paying attention, then what happens then, Lyle, is you notice how you're talking to yourself. Because most of us talk to ourselves much worse than we will allow anyone else to do. We tell ourselves we're not smart enough, we're not tall enough, we're not thin enough, you know, things never work out for you. And so we literally are tearing ourselves down rather than building ourselves up.
Wow, that's so true. That, you know what, I'm do that. I do that to myself sometimes, and so yeah, that is so true. You know, that you say that. So I'm really gonna take this to heart. You know, and really, I'm gonna finish reading your book too, because it's a good read. Man, it hit home when you said that, because I'm the one that tear myself down all the time.
Well, I think that all of us have that inclination, but it's not until you pay attention to your self-talk that you really become aware of it.
Yeah.
And rather than criticizing yourself when you notice it, I tell people to gently guide themselves to another thought. Almost treat it like it's a science project. Okay, that's interesting. Where did that thought come from? Because sometimes our thoughts are triggered by everything from a song on the radio that might remind us of a time when things didn't turn out so well in our lives.
Right.
Or, you know, or maybe someone said something where your doubts come up and you suddenly go, wow, nothing good ever happens to me. It always happens to everyone else. Or even worse is we beat ourselves up because of a mistake that we made.
Yeah.
And really, we have to practice self-forgiveness. We have to let ourselves off the hook. This is Earth School, okay? We're here to grow and evolve. And you're not going to do everything right, and you're not going to do everything wrong.
That's
so what
wonderful.
I like to tell people is when they find themselves thinking a negative thought, to treat it, like I said, like a science project, and to ask yourself, how did this thought come to me? And if you can trace it, then change it. But if you can't, then you say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to create a new thought.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to think about this and this. And so you literally have to train your brain. You have to start to reset your brain to think positive thoughts.
Right.
Because it's all too easy for us to think negative thoughts. And the more you think negative thoughts, the easier it is to stay negative because energy follows energy.
Oh, wow. So you think the positive thoughts and that positive energy is really going to, you know, help you to be positive and achieve things then?
Well, when we think positive thoughts, we're more likely to stay on that up channel.
Mm-hmm.
And so your thing is you want to make a commitment that whatever happens to you in life, you're going to say good things to yourself.
Okay.
That doesn't mean you're selling yourself on a bill of goods that's not true,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to make loving statements to yourself.
Mm.
I like to tell people one of the most affirming things to do to help themselves, to help, you know, in the course of a day. Say a little thing like when you're taking a shower or putting on lotion, you know, to tell yourself, I love you.
Oh, wow. Yes.
The body needs to hear it, and it doesn't matter who says it to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man.
But being able to say, I love you, I love you, I love you, or looking in the mirror and saying it to yourself.
Wow, now
really.
that's rough. But you know what? I'm going to try to do that one day. Lyle Style's going to try to do that. To look in the mirror at itself and say, I'm looking at the camera at myself, Steve, and I love you, Lyle Style. Okay, so I'm going to try to do that, and I'm going to let you know if that works for me. Because, you know what? I'm getting little goosebumps when I look to the camera and say, Lyle Style, I love you. And so you could be right. You could be on something, Sheree.
Well, you know what? We're either selling ourselves to ourselves or we're not. It's that simple.
Yes.
There's no in between. And if you're selling yourself to yourself, then you have to affirm positive things about yourself. You have to be able to, you know, love the period in life that you're in. Even if things aren't exactly the way that you want, you know, mistakes are just opportunities for growth.
Oh, right. All right. Exactly.
That's all they are.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't grow when everything's just going do. You only grow when you have some ups and downs that you experience.
Okay.
And being able to, you know, I like to tell people that there is never growth without upheaval. That's one of my teacher, Consuela Newton, that's what she always says. There's never growth without upheaval. And we don't grow when everything's just going perfect. We grow from those experiences that stretch us and help us to develop character, integrity, a sense of purpose. You know, that's how we grow.
Amen. But Sheree, you know what? I have learned a lot this half hour. This half hour is over with. I can't believe we talked. You really taught me a lot, and my viewers too. And I appreciate you being here on the phone, whatever, and talking to me at this interview. This really touched my heart, and I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this.
Okay, what a pleasure, Lyle. Really a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's going to be aired Friday, but I'm gonna send you a tape of the show.
Okay, I appreciate
so
that
you can
so
have
much.
it.
Thank you.
Okay, and we keep in touch with each other. And hey, you know what? I want a signed copy of a book now.
Then you'll get a signed copy of the book, Lyle. I'll make sure you do.
Okay. Sheree, hey, God bless you, and thanks a lot for being on the Lyle Style Show, and many more perfect experience for you. And I know your life is going to be great and whatnot, and you are an amazing person.
Same here. I know your life is going to be good too. Same here.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Thanks a lot. And I'll talk to you later. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Bye. Wow, that was a beautiful, wow. Well, you know, I said my guest, Sheree Franklin. This is her book, Intuition. It was a beautiful book. Believe me, I don't read, but I read some of the book. I got to finish it. I want your viewers to realize what she said. I hope you got something from our conversation and intuition. And I hope you can follow your intuition. And you know what? I want everybody out there, my viewers, to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you. Everybody do that. And because, you know, Lyle Style's going to do it. I am going to go home and look in the mirror and look at myself and say, Lyle, I love you. And wow, it's weird saying it, but I'm going to do that anyway. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Keep watching Lyle Style Show. I love y'all, and keep styling and profiling. And I hope that my next guest on my next show is going to be Craig Clemens, to Chicago Bears. We're going to be talking to him next time we do a show, and maybe he can look in the mirror too and say he loves himself. So, Craig, when I see you, I want you to do that. So, hey, everybody keep styling and profiling. Until next time on Lyle Style Show, be good to yourself and love yourself. Bye.